Welcome, everybody. This is our shop profile, your tool to healthy cash flow. Our community event, it's hosted by the community and Dave Lieberman. Dave's from our seller success team. So a lot of you guys have probably seen him. And if you're in the community at all, I'm one of the community leads here at Xometry, and we do a lot of the Learn with Luke's and a lot of that stuff. And then we brought Casto, who's the CEO of BetterCNC, on to co-host this event with us as he uses some of these tools that we'll talk about. And he brings a really cool perspective to it. So we'll let Jesse talk a little bit about that in the presentation. But first, let's go through the agenda. So first, we'll meet Jesse. Then we'll kind of dive into what are these Xometry financial solutions. So Dave Lieberman will kick us off there, really talk about what solutions we have and what we offer and how those benefit you guys. Then we'll start talking about user situations, so stages of your business growth, and then shop profile proposal demos, how to share your shop profile and why you should share your shop profile, and then a Q&A section. So a little bit about this. If you have questions, throw them into the chat. We'll be monitoring there. We'll either type you guys back and chat you guys back, or we'll save them towards the end and then we'll talk about them then. Last but not least, we will point to some community resources so that after this, you can look at some of our technical documentation or know where to ask questions. So we are recording this event and we will be sending it out after with this slide deck. So if you miss something, if we go a little quick, no worries, you'll be able to re-loop it and be able to rewatch it. So let's kind of dive into it. So Jesse, take it away, man.
Yeah, so let's say I'm Jesse Casto with BetterCNC. BetterCNC is a machine shop I kicked off out of my garage right here last January. I started working with Xometry that same month, which helped me go full-time with it in June. So I've been full-time working out of my garage with Xometry being 40 to 60% of my work since then. But I've also worked with Xometry with my previous employer for about 3 or 4 years as well. But I'm a straight job shop. I don't have any of my own products. I don't do any design work. I just take what other people have and build it for them. But yeah, I'm growing pretty quick with Xometry and other work I'm picking up elsewhere. So
that's awesome. We're so glad that you joined us today. We're super excited to pick your brain on some of this stuff. So yeah. We'll keep going. And now we're going to have Dave Lieberman actually dive into some of our Xometry financial solutions. So Dave, I'll let you go from here.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. And thanks, Jesse, for joining us. You're one of our target users because you came through our network and now you're building your independent business by leveraging these cash tools and things like shop profiles. And that's what Xometry is all about. So I want to acknowledge first that there's other job boards out there, but the things that set Xometry apart are that there's no fees or obligations to join other than you do quality work, but that's understood. And a huge thing that sets us apart is our financial tools. We have these financial tools specifically designed to support and grow your business. So what are these tools? We have these 4 tools: the advance card, fast pay, deduct from jobs, and offering terms and credit card payment platform to your customers. So let's dive into those each. When you take a job from the job board, we support you by giving you 50% advance. Sign up for a little advance card. It's free. It's a prepaid Visa debit card. And what we're doing is we're giving you access to the cash that you're going to make from that work up front. You can use that money for tools, supplies, raw materials, consumables, whatever you need to keep working. But because it's a Visa debit card, it's a little bit more liberal and you have a little more control over it. You can buy tires for the shop truck. If you do business on your iPad and you get a screen crack, you can get that repaired or replaced. Whatever obstacle is keeping you from working, we want to help give you control over your cash flow to remove those obstacles. The advance card is how we advance you 50% of your payout to be able to have the access to that cash up front. On the backside, another thing that sets us apart from maybe some of your independent work is that we guarantee payment in 30 days. A lot of partners I've spoken with offer terms to their customers, net 30 terms, but customers aren't always as consistent about payment. Xometry guarantees that payment. So we give you security there. However, We offer two different ways of getting access to that cash faster. If you're coming to the end of the month and you just shipped a job out and you want to get paid right away, we have a tiered fee structure. So it's 4% if you want to get paid right away. And after half of that natural 30-day net term countdown, it drops down to 2%. These are not required or obligations, but they're tools there in your toolbox. I refer to these as the torque wrench, right? This is the tool in your toolbox that you only reach for when you need it, but it's the only tool that works when you need it. So again, giving you control of your cash. We also make it really clear what fees you're paying, and there's a simple calculator in your shop profile that shows you exactly what your payout and deductions are. Totally transparent. In conjunction with your advance card, we added deduct from job. This was a really key feature because we learned that there was a situation where if you take a job and you get an advance, that advance is going to get paid off by that job payout. But if you take another job and get an advance, that was going towards the spend that you spent on your card. So we allowed you to protect that expense and tie it to a specific job. So you're going to take that expense that you spent on the card and deduct it from a specific job. That way you get another job and you have access to that advance for that job too. So a really huge thing, and we save the best for last. These are all really good. I don't know how to pick a best one. But through the shop profiles, we offer terms and allow you to accept credit cards. We allow you to offer terms and accept credit cards. And I want to back up a step because I started by saying whenever you take a job from the job board, you automatically get access to these financial tools. One of our first steps with creating shop profiles was specifically to respond to our partner feedback that said, hey, those financial tools are awesome and powerful, only for Xometry job board jobs. Can you help me out with my other stuff? We said, yeah, we can. So we created shop profiles specifically to connect your non-job board work to the financial tools. So the advance card, fast pay, and deduct from job are there for Xometry jobs, but the missing link that you don't need for Xometry job board work was a payment platform for your existing non-Xometry work. And through your shop profile, there's a built-in payment platform that allows you to accept credit card payments, and very importantly, allows you to offer net 30 terms to your customers that Xometry guarantees. It's a 30-second little 2-web page interface application that your customer quickly fills out. They get an email with an instant approval, and they're good to go. And then they get a credit limit that they can come back and shop with you over time. And as they pay off the balance, they have access to that limit again. So we've created a way on our job board to feed you work, but now we've created a way with our shop profiles to feed you business. And this is a way that you can strengthen and grow your shop because now you're using your own network and your own customers and your own business. We're talking about the financial tools on this slide, but I will mention that there's a quoting tool within the shop profile that's super cool that also connects all of this stuff together. That's the thing that really connects all these dots. Luke, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. You covered it all. I mean, big thing is you get to now use these financial services on your non-Xometry work, which is a big plus, big positive. Advance card, 50% upfront of job value. Fast pay, you get paid faster. Deduct from job, you get to choose where expenses go. And now you can actually offer terms. So I think all of that is really great and really strong. So we'll go forward from here. Let me get the presentation moving. So what stage of growth are you in? So we're going to talk about 2 different user situations, and then we'll let Jesse talk about his situation and how he uses these different financial services. So Dave, take it away.
All right. Well, we've got a couple different examples here. We have Devin, who has been been in business for 15 years, been using the job board for 5 years. Devin's the kind of guy that uses fast pay to get paid faster for all of his work when he completes a job. He uses fast pay to buy supplies, not worry about taking cash flow out of his normal business finances. It's all contained. The advance card is easy for using all kinds of different shop related for addressing all kinds of different shop related items. And he's able to align with deduct from jobs, so he can keep track of what supplies and what expenses were associated with the specific work that he's doing. Makes the accounting side way easier on the end of the job too. In contrast, we have Alex, who just started his machine shop. And this is an opportunity for him to own and grow his own business. He's trained and purchased his first machine, and now he's created a shop profile to be able to promote that business. As a brand new operator in the space, where do you start? What do you do? How do you get business, right? So Alex is an example of that guy. So he's published his shop profile. He signed up for the advance card, and now he's got access to 50% upfront of that new work that he's taking. This is huge because he doesn't have a nest egg. I mean, he's got whatever he has going into this business, and this gives him working capital. So he's not dipping into savings to take new work that then gets locked up in that job for 30 days. He's got access to that right up front, and then he can get paid out his profit later. And he's also using Xometry Flex, that's the net 30 terms, so that his customers can pick payment terms that work for them without having to make Alex the bank. If you are offering net terms to your customers and you're not using Xometry Flex, you are the bank. But you're a machine shop. You're not a bank. You shouldn't be in the banking business. Let us take care of that. That's where we can come to your aid. So we guarantee the payment in 30 days. And regardless of your customer's payment performance, you never know. Frankly, I don't think we ever know. We have an arrangement with our underwriter. We pay you. It's all good. And that's really what the key is there. It's security, and it's control, and it's options for your customers.
Absolutely, that was great. And you can see how these two different individuals, two different shops are using these financial services at two different stages of their business's life. And it's really cool to see how they can work in both those stages. So now we're going to flip it over to Jesse and kind of see how he uses these financial services.
So yeah, I'd say I'm startup machine shop, kicked off in January. I went full-time in June, and I've pretty much used all of these tools at one point or another. Because my first 6 months while I was working full-time somewhere else, I pretty much only worked exclusively with Xometry. And I had no nest egg, no nothing. So I was used to the advance card quite a bit just to buy materials for the jobs, things like that. And fast pay on pretty much everything just to get it into the bank so I can pay my bills, things like that. I've started using the instant pay since that came out as well. On some of the bigger, actually Xometry had my biggest order for me in September, and I used the instant pay on that so I could buy material and got some nice fixturing and tooling for that order as well right out the gate. I got the job board, but say the big things I use the job board for right now is if I got open capacity, I'll use it. Like the Thursday, Friday, I'm going to grab a couple jobs for over the weekend while I'm waiting on some other material to come in. I usually try and maintain about a $4,000 to $8,000 backlog. And so I'll use Xometry to bump that up, things like that. And I'm maintaining financial targets. So if I'm $500 from a goal that I've set, then I'll snag a couple little jobs just to bump me that little bit of distance. To make sure I'm hitting all my targets. And since the shop profiles come out, I've actually had customers find me through that already. I've had a larger company, I think they're based out of Washington or something like that, but I think they were looking through Xometry Shop Profiles because Xometry is a known name. and my profile came up. They liked the way it looked, checked out my website, and called me up. And I've gotten quite a bit of quoting activity from them work so far.
And Jesse, this is not somebody that you knew before. This is
Nope.
somebody who found you on the marketplace, looked through the shop profiles, found yours, liked it, and reached out to you.
Yeah, it's actually a company I've never heard of, but it's actually a pretty large company. But yeah, they called me up. I had a conversation with them, and I think I've bid on $10,000 to $15,000 of work so far. Still trying to lock it down, but sometimes those things take time to get. But I also use the Net 30. That actually came out just in time for me as well. Two of my previous customers gave me about $10,000 in work, and they were both Net 30 for me, which is, as a startup, that's a lot for me to hoof up front and still buy the material, buy the tooling, do the work, get it shipped, and then wait 30 days for anything to come in. So that was the first couple rounds that I've used on the Net 30 was to help me handle those jobs so I can keep my big customers happy and I can still get paid whenever I need to get paid, basically. And yeah, just having a shop profile just gives you that online presence. The more you can get your name dinged online on your website, through Xometry Profiles, the better for you. I've actually got a link on my website tied into my Xometry profile as well, just to keep every access open, every avenue open.
Well, that's actually really smart, Jesse, because that ties right into SEO, search engine optimization, right? Xometry, and you mentioned it earlier, a lot of people know the Xometry name. There's no accident, right? We're spending a lot of money and resources on promoting our brand. Every time I open YouTube, I get a Xometry ad, right? And I already work here. So I know that we are out there. And every time I talk to somebody who's new to me in the conversation and isn't in our network, they've heard of Xometry. And so this is a really important feature of the shop profiles, is that we are driving so much business to our website. When a customer wants to work directly with a shop over a period of time, or a customer wants to pick the shop that they're working for, our instant quote platform isn't for them. They want a relationship straight with the manufacturer. And that's one of the reasons we created these shop profiles. They can find and connect with you, but they're doing that on Xometry. They're coming to Xometry because they know and trust Xometry. The only people that come here are manufacturing people, right? So this isn't Facebook where it's open to the world. And your own website is out there on the World Wide Web competing with players like Xometry. So the way to take advantage of search engine optimization, SEO, is to do the cross-linking and backlinking. So when you put your shop profile on your website, it makes another connection on the back end, and there's a better chance that you'll show up in a natural Google search for something like CNC in Plano, Texas.
Yeah, I get a good amount of activity from Google searches, and I think having backlinks and stuff like that with Xometry profile and everything helps raise me up to where I ping a little bit higher whenever people are looking for a source for work.
That's right.
Get work done.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So let's keep going here. So now we're actually going to show you guys how it works with creating and receiving proposals. So we'll come from the buyer's perspective and as well the seller's perspective. So we show you both ends. So we've got some videos.
And before we jump in, I just want to say a quick word. We're calling them proposals. You might think of them as RFQs. We're using this language on purpose because these shop profiles is a place for you to do your business. This is not the Xometry job board. And it's an important distinction because in the shop profiles, you can advertise services that you offer your customers that aren't compatible with job board work, like design and engineering services. So we went with the term proposal to be able to encompass not only RFQs for parts and finishing, but also requests for a more consulting work, design, engineering, product advice, things that aren't really job boardable. So think of the proposals that way.
Absolutely. So let's kick it off with how to submit a proposal. And Dave, I think you can take this one as we play this video.
Yep. So this is what your customer sees when they land in the marketplace. A nice little splash page with some manufacturing graphics. And we have some pre-filtered searches. So just to make it a little easier, some basic information for your buyers, and then more pre-filtered finishing searches. But the meat and potatoes here is the search bar. So we're going to search for something general to get a lot of results. And now this looks like any old shopping experience we all have online everywhere. There's a search result to the right. There's filters to the left. We can narrow the search results to more of what we're looking for. And as we do that, the list gets smaller. But CNC is a pretty broad term on purpose. So you can see a little 261 next to that filter, CNC machining. That's how many people show up. So I'm going to get to Jesse's profile by just typing in better. That gets me to BetterCNC. Now I can take a look at his profile, learn about the quality of his work, see some images. I see his capabilities and the associated materials. I see he's got ISO 9000. He does work with finishing, but he makes the statement that he works with finishers. He is not a finisher, and that's important to make that distinction. But we're going to request a quote. And this is a pretty easy interface. It's very self-explanatory. Just fill in the blanks. Give him some basic details to go on. But we have a really nice line item tool where you can choose if you're going to ask for an engineering service or an expedited fee, or use my shipping account, or if you want a part or finishing. And when you want a part, we've built in some drop-down menus that help make it easy, again, to click, point and click, point and click. That's what we're going for, making this easy and intuitive. Great. Now I could have added a bunch more, but the point is just to show you how it works. We also have a really cool shared file drop. I skipped the part where I look through my files and pick one. But when you upload a 3D file, we have a 3D viewer. So both parties can flip the object around, take a look at it, understand what we're talking about here. And both parties can upload files, and both parties can see those files. When it looks good, I'm going to submit the proposal. Put a little note to Jesse, thanks for doing the demo, and off it goes.
It's awesome.
Pretty
It's as easy
painless.
as that.
Yeah. I mean, what was that, 90 seconds? I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe 2 minutes.
Super quick. Yeah. So now we will actually take you guys through receiving a proposal. So this is from Jesse's end when he has actually seen the proposal and what he does from there.
That's right. And I did want to mention that you get an email notification, but if you're already in your job board or in your profile, you can just look for proposals and it'll be dynamic there as well. But in this example, we're going to start by fishing it out of his email. There it is. And we go right to it. Now he sees exactly what I saw. When you get down to the line item, you want to edit the line item because you're going to add a price.
So you see all the same information.
All the same info right there. Exactly. The only additional box is the pricing box. It's dynamic. Jesse's going to check out what he's dealing with here, the old leggy planter. And we've got a communication tool embedded in this as well. That way you can consolidate your conversation about this job in this proposal. You are going to be working with the same customer on different jobs at the same time. This helps keep it clear and linear. We've got some options on the drop-down menu for how long it's valid. You can add some other comments in there if you want, any other terms you have. This is a deal between you and your customer. So we're not managing the business here. We're managing the interface. you do the business. So we're giving a lot of flexibility and options for how your style of work with your customer is.
Absolutely. So now what we'll do after receiving the proposal is the customer actually paying for it. So completing a transaction. Dave will walk us through this.
So here we've got my email. There's the quote that Jesse has done. I can't touch it now. It's been quoted so that it's solid. I can't change the price lower than 0.01 cents. And if I have anything more to say, I can, but in this case, it looks great. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to checkout. I'm going to get a confirmation pop up. Is this really what I'm trying to do for the price? And if I need to, there's a link to contact BetterCNC. But here we are at the payment platform now. And if you just pause for 1 sec, Luke,
Yep.
You can see that there's these 3 options. We can pay with a credit card. I can pay with a direct ACH bank-to-bank transfer, or I can apply now for Xometry Pay with invoice. That's our net 30 terms. Okay, go ahead. And it's a 2-screen application, which is pretty easy, but it's too long to show in one screenshot. But it's simple. Basic information about the person's name and then the business name. And we ask for business type and industry just for our stats, but that's it. Then there's an email that I received in my inbox saying, hey, you're all set up. We just need you to confirm your email address and then you're ready to shop. You can see kind of down above the previous button, there's a requested credit line, and it didn't show up in the video, but it's a drop down. And so you can request different amounts. Since I'm talking to the group of sellers, I will let you know that the approval process is instant, but if your customer is not approved, there's an email sent to both of you, one that says, hey, we're checking this out, stand by. And one sends to the customer that says that, and then one to you saying, hey, your customer didn't qualify for the terms they asked for. You might want to have a conversation. If they're asking for a $30,000 credit limit on a $500 job, you might want to talk to them and have them move it down. That can change their approval. That's it. Now you have access to guaranteed payment in 30 days, and your customer can pay on the net 30 terms just like their business is set up to do.
Absolutely. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of sharing your profile and how to share your profile.
So again, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but the benefits we've already covered, right? You are offering your customers flexibility with net 30 terms, ACH transfer, or credit card. They can pay any way they want to pay. You're getting connection to the Xometry financial services like the advance card to get 50% up front and fast pay on the back end if that's what you need. And you can communicate with your customers and update the proposals dynamically in the interface. A couple ways to share your shop profile. Right on your social media. You can post this in Facebook. You can add it into LinkedIn. Those are great for creating those links again that help you with SEO, search engine optimization. Email campaign to your current customers. Hey, I'm using this as a quoting platform now. When you send me a request for quote, I'll be quoting it through this platform. And you can include a link to your shop profile right in your email signature. That's a great way to get people used to using it. One thing I wanted to mention that didn't come up before is that both sides of the transaction can add line items. So sometimes you'll get a request for quote that's very general. Hey, I need 10 pieces of CNC made to this bar napkin sketch, right? But we built the platform on purpose to be able to address situations like that, where you can say to that customer, hey man, I'm not interested, or hey, I can take this bar napkin and turn it into a CAD drawing for a line item fee, build that into your proposal, and then I can do the work for another line item fee and build that into your proposal. Then you send that to your customer. They can respond and say, oh, actually, I've got a buddy who can do my CAD. You can take that off. Great. And you just take that line item off. But both parties can start that proposal by building line items. So that didn't come up before. And I wanted to make sure that that was clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesse, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, something I would just like to mention real quick too. With the ability to send proposals where the customer is able to view the quote, send chat messages, and make the purchase all online. I've used the Xometry proposal system, and customers, a lot of people love seeing digital quotes like that. If you think of the industry standard, it's a PDF and an email, and that's very, that's very traditional. It's kind of a little bit old school, and it's being phased out at this point. So being able to use a digital platform like this where you send proposals digitally, customers love that. And a lot of times if they see the submit form, that's so new to them that they love using it. But I've got customers that submit quotes using platforms like that just because it's different. They're like, that gives them a feeling that you're paying more attention. It gives you the ability to respond immediately. And just another, they see that you're ahead of the curve and they want to take advantage of you being there.
Yeah, or you're in alignment with what they're used to, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the reason for that shopping experience. That's what people already know. When I go to buy a pair of shoes, that's what I get, right? I get the same interface, filters. I can filter to my gender and my size right away.
Yeah.
And then I get a list of things that I'm actually going to shop through. Yeah, we did that very intentionally.
All right, so we've gotten towards the end of the presentation and kind of the event. We've got about 10 minutes left. If you guys have any questions, you can start putting them into the chat and we'll be looking at them and we can answer them here live for you guys. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in there. We'll give it about a minute or 2 minutes. And if nobody's got any questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up and give you guys some time of your day left. Or back, give you some of your day back.
If you think of anything after the fact or have any questions for me as somebody who uses it, I'm pretty active on the community forum, and I think there's an event page for it on the community as well.
Yep.
So if you track that down, post it up, we can all answer you there as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Awesome,
thank you
Paul.
for that offer, Jesse. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, Paul. Thank you. We're glad that this was helpful.
I will share an anecdote because one of the cool things we did is built this very, thanks, Daniel. We're trying to help you use the interface exclusively. So we really appreciate your input. Couple of points I'll make. Daniel, who is in the chat, and Jesse have been active users and communicating with me directly with input. That's part of our culture at Xometry. We consider that we have a partnership with our users. And so when we go to enhance our products, we do that with our user feedback in mind. So please reach out to any one of us, but definitely Luke or myself are easy to route. We know how to route these things or handle them ourselves. We really take that feedback seriously, and then we apply resources to what we have consensus on. But I also wanted to mention, we have one user on the shop profile who has a fancy website. He has an established product and an established company, and he has customers already. But he found that during the pandemic, he was able to flush his roster of any of his bad paying terms customers. And so he stopped offering net 30 terms to anybody he didn't already have a good relationship with. He found out about our shop profiles. He reached out to me. We had a conversation, and he's got an active shop profile now that he exclusively uses to connect new buyers that want products from his website to net 30 terms. He's outsourcing that risk. So we built this platform to be very agnostic, to allow for creative use by our users, to allow for unpredicted use by our users. I'm really proud of what our developers did. They're a very talented team, and we're able to come up with a platform that works well, but isn't so specific that you have to fall into line. It works how you work. You can create the proposal. Your customer can create the proposal.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we just got a question in the chat, and it's from Fred. And Fred said, so Xometry gets paid how? Is it the 4%?
Thank you for asking that, Fred. Now that you mentioned it, we didn't have a place to put that. So I'm glad we're talking about it. A lot of other platforms will charge you for listing or for participating. There is no fee to list your shop profile. There is no fee to quote. What we do is we retain a 3% fee on business that you actually transact. And that 3% fee covers site maintenance, but also things like a credit card swipe fee. If you take credit cards in your shop now, you pay a fee every time you swipe that card. And oftentimes, if you have a POS system, a point of sale system, you've got some hardware or some software or some membership, some cloud service that you're paying additionally for. So you're going to pay for that swipe, but you also might be paying $100 a month for a terminal, or 12 bucks a month or whatever to get onto the cloud service to see your data and all that. This 3% covers everything. There are plans and conversations in the works to expand the usability of the shop profiles. Again, we get a lot of feedback, and we build out our tools and enhance our tools and products based on user feedback. And there may be increased fees going forward for those increased levels. But we will keep this 3% level for this functionality, which is, I think, very useful as it is.
For comparison, I've also sent invoices through QuickBooks. And QuickBooks, I think I pay $47 a month, and it's a 3.5% transaction fee for anything with a credit card. So the 3% comes under the QuickBooks rate as well.
Yeah, that's great. Daniel says it's the only way we accept credit card payments since there's no additional fee. Really good deal.
It's in the math.
Right on. Yep, absolutely. So Fred, I hope that answers your question. We'll go ahead and go on. And if you guys have more questions, go ahead and keep putting them in the chat. We'll be able to answer them. But I want to make sure we're able to show you guys this last page. And this is our community resources page. So the community is what I live and breathe, and it's what I'm in all day. It's how Xometry pays me. And so we've got a couple different links on this page for you. The first one's the home page. So a couple things you'll notice on the home page, that's how you get to everything else. It's how you get to our help documentation. It's how you get to our categories. It's how you get to our Learn with Luke series. And then under that, you'll see the Help Center articles. So we've talked a lot about our financial resources and our shop profiles. So if you want to be able to go back, get step-by-step actions on how to sign up for an advanced card, how to use an advanced card, look at all of our FAQs, or how to create my shop profile, where can I publish my shop profile, what are the shop profile minimum requirements, all of that stuff is in those Help Center articles and those documentations. So as you guys are in here, look around. And then lastly, we got to join the discussion. Not only do we want you guys in there looking at articles and everything, we want you to interact with everybody else that's in the community as well. So while you're in there, you'll see people who have a need to repair their Haas CNC machine, all of those kinds of things. If you know any of those answers, or if you have a question you want to ask, go ahead and throw it in that community spot. Someone will answer it. Someone will be there. We've got a lot of fun stuff going on there as well. So last thing that I'll point out is on this homepage, you will see a recent discussions page, and that shows you where the most recent activity is. So at the end of this event, when we have this video produced, what we'll do is post this video in the community as well. If you guys are looking for more answers or want to ask questions, you can put those in that discussion thread, and we'll be monitoring it. Me, Dave, Jesse, we'll be looking at it, and we'll be able to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Jesse, Dave, you guys got anything else?
I think that's.
I would just reinforce what you touched on, is that another thing that makes us very different at Xometry is our community. We are at the very base level. We are a platform that connects people, and the community is just another extension of that. Our partners are awesome. We're spread out all over the world, all over the country in this group. And so we're not competitors, right? We're all collaborators. If you have a design challenge or a machine challenge, hey, I've got this tool and this material and the tool path isn't going right, throw that question on the community. Somebody else has had that question and solved that problem. And we do have a lot of active users in the community. It's a really cool thing.
Exactly. What I really like is we grow when you guys grow. We win when you guys win. So we want you guys to win as big and as often as possible. And the community is one way we can do that. So thank you everybody for joining us for this event. Dave, thank you. Jesse, thank you. And all of our attendees. We really appreciate it. As we're wrapping up here, we'll stay on for a couple more minutes. If you guys have any additional questions, you can ask them. But if not, feel free to leave, check out the community, check out our different resources, and we'll see you guys out there.
And just a shout out, I recognize a lot of the names on this list: Charlie, Daniel, Fred, Milos. What else we got down here? Paul. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate it.
I've actually got a buddy who built his shop on Xometry as well. I need to reach out and see if he's seen the Xometry pay.
Yeah.
Because last time I talked to him, he did a job for a non-Xometry, like for a customer that found him, and he had the hardest time getting them to pay. And so he decided he's working on Xometry exclusively, and he's not even going to deal with other people. But this feature kind of resolves that issue for him.
That's right. Specifically, we did this on purpose.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this, and then we'll see each other out there. So everybody have a good day.